Hit that again.
Okay, welcome to the full legislative meeting, Putnam County, August 5th, 2014. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Wright, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
District number 1, Legislator Putnam. District 2, Legislator Oliverio.
Present.
District 3, Legislator Tutera.
Present.
District 4, Legislator Nasarino.
Present.
District 6, Legislator Gross.
Present.
District 7, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Good.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Wright.
Present.
District 5, Chairman Ahmed.
Present. 3, we have approval of minutes, special meeting June 9th, 2014, and regular meeting July 1st, 2014. Good. Minutes. Number 4, correspondence, county auditor. There is no activity reported. Health, Social, Economic, and Environmental Committee, Chairman Oliverio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the Health Committee members, Legislator Lebu, Scutchmare, and myself, I'd like to move forward the following 2 resolutions: an approval and authorization to apply for water quality projects as discussed by this as discussed at the health meeting.
Discussion? Make a motion? What?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secondly, I'd like the approval of the Algonquin Incremental Market Project, the notification of blowdowns, and we did spend some time at this at the last health meeting. What this does is to clarify the wording and advise. It also allows our residents to be warned whenever there is going to be a blowdown at the gas delivery facility over in Southeast, which is, as we know, when they do that blowdown, there's a lot of particulates in the air that cause asthma and things like that. So I would like to move that forward as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Personnel Committee, Chairwoman Nasarino.
Thank you, Chairman Albano. On behalf of myself and Legislators Castellano and Sartaro, I would like to move the fund transfer 5C for the Office of Senior Resources. This is a transfer has been requested to cover temporary costs for employee on leave from September through December. Also a sub-CDL driver nutrition sub-drivers pilot program, and 2 CDL drivers covering expanded transportation services. The amount is $20,739 going into the temporary line. I'd like to move that.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye. The second transfer is from the Office of Senior Resources as well. It is again moving money into the temporary line for a part-time caseworker covering a full-time caseworker on leave of absence from June 15th through September 15th, and the sum is $4,306. I would like to move that as well.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Physical Services Committee, on behalf of Legislators Nasarino, Scutchmare. 5E, approval of the seeker determination. This is for the Morningthorpe Bridge. It's classified as a Type 2 action, which is like in-kind replacement. enhance safety and handicap accessible. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval bond resolution for the rehabilitation and/or reconstruction of the Morningthorpe Bridge. This is $500,000 bond. It's a $2.5 million project, and the grants cover $2 million of that. Discussion?
Very quickly, I will not beat a dead horse here. Again, I am voting no, not because of the project. I totally support the project, the Morningthorpe Bridge renovation. I think it's money well spent. What I would ask this legislature to do, again, is not to bond it, but to pay cash. We have that cash available. I know we've had this discussion. That's my own personal opinion, and I will be voting no on the bonding because of that.
Okay, just like that, my 2 cents to the bridge. It's an important project, and we're going to have to do this regardless. There's a gas main that goes over the bridge. I'd be in support of this now. If we do have extra money at the end of the year and we're happy, we can pay down some other bills. Bonding works well with something that has a useful life over so many years. You could spread it out and it makes sense. Any other discussion?
I'd just like to comment that even though we can anticipate that there'd be a surplus in sales tax revenues, it has been down so far this year. I'm not saying it's going to continue to go down, so it's not.
No, it's been up. It's been up with the sales tax.
For the year compared to last year, I believe.
We will end up with about $2.5 million excess, honestly. But I don't want to,
Let's not belabor it.
Yeah, just to add to that, with $2 million excess, we know it's not really excess. It may be in one area, but we have a lot of places we could put it that cost effective. So, any other discussion?
Through the chair, voting no as well. You know, that's my philosophy. I'm not in favor of increasing the bond debt.
Okay. So we have roll call vote?
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Gross.
Yes.
Legislator LeBeau.
No.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Oliverio.
No.
Legislator Scuchamara. Legislator Tataro.
Yes.
Legislator Wright.
Yes.
Chairman Albano.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, approval budgetary amendment 14A060, Commissioner of Finance, Morningthorpe Bridge and Walkway Project. This is moving the appropriate monies around. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
And 1 no.
Right,
Thank
because it involves the bonding.
Okay, approval 5H, approval resolution construction of Maybrook 2 bike path in the town of Southeast. This was $4,738,286. The county's match was $741,974. I think we previously had a bond approved for $379,500. This is putting it all together for our portion of what's needed to complete the bike path. Discussion?
Thank you, Chair. The same philosophy. I'm not in favor of driving up the debt service and the bonding. I will be voting no against this additional debt. Of course, I'm in favor of the bikeway. And the other reason, again, is because we don't have a maintenance agreement with this bike path going forward. And also the liability. We still haven't put the mile markers on the trail. So I don't know what the status of that is. And that was, I believe, last May when we had that discussion. And at that point, it was an emergency and it still hasn't been addressed. So.
Legislator Olivero?
Yeah, the project, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's the best quality of life addition we have ever done in this county, and I believe that emphatically. I sat here in the legislature when Bob Bondi went that route with the bikeway, and we broke ground right in Mahopac. That was the start of it, right by the train station and stuff. And I absolutely support it, but I cannot support again the bonding, so I will be a no vote.
Again, my comment to that, the bike path, like many other issues, it has a useful life, and so you spread the expenses over many years, and that's the purpose of a bond. Right now, our bonds are, I want to say 2 or 3%. I can't see them going lower in a couple of years, but I can't see things going higher. If we have extra money at the end of the year, I want to pay down more important debt that we have. So I guess, any other discussion?
Like the pension amortization.
The pensions is a big issue. There's a lot of big things we have out there that the money should go towards. Okay, so roll call vote?
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Gross.
Yes.
Legislator LeBeau.
No.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Oliverio.
No.
Legislator Tataro.
Yes.
Legislator Wright.
Yes.
Chairman Albano.
Yes.
Motion carries.
5I, approval of budgetary amendment. 14A-061, Commissioner of Finance, Bikeway, Maybrook 2. Again, this is putting money in the right lines. Any discussion? All in favor?
One no.
One no.
5J, approval of budgetary amendment 14A-066, Highways and Facilities, increase in snow and ice agreement revenue. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
5K, approval of fund transfer 14T-131, Planning Department telephone. I think this is just an isolated line for the telephone expense. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have Rules and Enhancements and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Chairwoman LeBeau.
Thank you, Chairman Albano. On behalf of myself and legislators Tataro and Wright, I'd like to move forward agenda item 5L, which is approval to amend local law number 9 of 2012 in relation to requirement of providing an apprenticeship training program and having appropriate apprenticeship agreements in place by contractors/subcontractors to Putnam County project labor agreements in connection with the purchase of construction goods and services for major construction projects. Just so the public knows, the economic threshold, the trigger is $1 million.
I would ask that we table this.
I'd like to make a comment. I think this is something that makes sense. The apprenticeship program is vital to get our youth into the workforce. Do we vote?
I think we
Any
need a
discussion
second.
first?
I think we need a second on the
Okay.
tabling. And
Any
then
seconds?
discussion.
Reason for the tabling motion?
I just don't have enough information on exactly the authority of the apprentices, who puts them in, the impact of the union on the project. And it's just unclear. We had a kind of a healthy discussion prior to this, and I just like more information. I know it was tabled once before, but I thought we could go another 30 days to just evaluate what the fine print says about this.
I'll second the tabling motion for those reasons given.
Okay. Okay, economic development and energy.
No, it's a roll call.
I'm sorry, we need roll call. I'm sorry, thank you. Roll call vote.
Legislator Castellano.
No.
Legislator Gross.
Yes.
Legislator LeBeau.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino.
No.
Legislator Oliverio.
Yes to table.
Just a table.
Legislator Cuccinero. Legislator Tataro.
Yes to table.
Legislator Wright.
Out of respect for Legislator Gross's request, yes.
Chairman Albano.
I still have respect for you, Roger, but no.
Motion carries.
Motion's carried.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development and Energy Committee, Chairwoman Cuccinero, legislators Gross and Wright. Who will handle that? Guess I'll take that. Or Roger?
I'll go ahead and take it.
Thank you.
Okay. This is 5M. It has to do with the Visitors Bureau Tourist Promotion Agency. It's related to the New York State Promotion Act, which we do each year. Tourist promotion.
Second?
Okay.
You want me to
Second, yeah, any discussion? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Take them under.
5N is the same premise. It has to do more with the I Love New York project, which we, each of the legislature does support this initiative to promote tourism in Putnam County.
Discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Audit and Administration Committee, Chairman Castellano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of legislators Nasarino and Tataro, I'd like to put the following forward. 5O is the approval of a budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Department. Expenditure of T Commission reserves, it's an amount of $15,000 to purchase some automotive materials. Zero fiscal impact, and I'd just like to move it forward.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
5P is the approval of the budgetary amendment for the Commissioner of Finance FEMA grant Maybrook Trail fence repair, damage caused by Hurricane Sandy. We are taking money out of contingency here in the amount of $22,466, but we have some incoming money from federal aid in the amount of $202,196. So I think this is the appropriate use of contingency money, and certainly a repair that needs to be done, and we're getting money from federal aid. So I think it's a good thing for Putnam County. I'd like to move it forward.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Just for a second, 5E, just make a motion to accept the additional. I didn't do that. That was the secret determination. We had to just correct it. The list of
Second.
Second, thank you. Okay, other business. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just one thing. Commissioner Beals, I serve on the Health Board and the Board of Health here in the county. And Commissioner Beals put together a terrific thing called Run for Your Life, which will occur Sunday, September 7th, 10 a.m., Brewster. It's a 5K race, a 1 mile walk, a half mile walk for kids. And we're looking for people to join with that. It's a terrific thing, sponsored by the county executive, the legislature, Putnam County in general, and Commissioner Beals. It comes out of his office, the health department, and I want to give it publicity because I think this is a phenomenal thing. Walking for your health, running for your health. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you participate, besides the run, there will be other things going on also, and this will begin right at the Putnam County Department of Health at 1 Geneva Road in Brewster and end there. So he has the course all mapped out. More information, just contact Commissioner Beals at the Department of Health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recognition of the public. Anyone like to speak? Mr. Lisi?
Good evening, my name is Ann Izzy. I looked at the backup that was online. Is there a vendor for the fence? I'm on 5 feet. I'm all right.
The neighbor, the repair on the neighbor?
Yeah, the FEMA, yeah, it's the fence repair caused by,
I can find out. I don't know that for a fact.
I don't know.
you don't know that there was a repair for the fence for that?
Who the vendor was to
Yes.
repair the fence?
Yeah,
No, I don't have
just the
that.
backup material was so complete that I thought maybe the vendor's name would be on it for the purpose of the fence.
Yeah,
I can take a look in there if it is.
Yeah,
Well, we can find out.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We can get back to you.
And I'd like to comment on the public labor agreement. I did some research, and I think that we should look at this proposal with caution. This is a proposal that was encouraged or urged by the Obama administration. And when I looked at the results of it, it was, what can I say, it had mixed reviews. Because while at one point, it may offer some benefit to workers, even in terms of wages, it almost, everything I looked at, it increased construction costs. So if this county is looking to reduce costs, I think that this proposal has to be very, very carefully looked at. There are huge proposals coming out of Washington for more than $1 million that, was the limit there.
Yeah, no, that's the trigger, anything over $1 million.
Excuse me?
The trigger is $1 million, any projects, $1 million and above.
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying is that in Washington and in other locales, there were, really huge projects, not a million, but 10, 100 million and so forth. And construction costs increased anywhere from 18% to about 27%. So I said, well, wait a minute, I think I've got to learn a little bit more, before jumping on this bandwagon. So I wish to commend the legislature for giving yourselves more time to really think about it and to weigh the cost and the benefits. Okay, and who gets the cost? And who gets the benefits? Thank you.
Mr. Levinsky? Just state your name.
I'm Jerry Revnisky, the Matt. I wanted to thank the legislature for passing this resolution in regard to blowdowns. It will probably save some lives in the local community. I also want to mention that Putnam County was the first group in the first legislature or town in the area to pass a resolution for safeguards for people in the community, leading the way. And since that time, Westchester County passed a resolution yesterday, a similar one, not identical, but very similar. Rockland County is well on its way toward passing a resolution. Peekskill has indicated they're going to be voting yes on that resolution next Monday. And we have, of course, the town of Cortland is certainly on board with this, and they've been very active in trying to safeguard people in the community. So things are going very well. And I wanted to also mention, because some people have been concerned about how this will affect the business community, that this resolution is just to safeguard people's health and welfare, safeguard their property. It will not stop the project if the company is willing to do it in a safe way and abide by all the safety regulations. And that's the important issue. We're just concerned with people not getting ill or having their property destroyed or a variety of other things, or having their mortgages canceled or their homeowners insurance canceled, or a variety of other things that can result from such a project. And I know that Spectra has mentioned a number of times that they're not aware of such problems, and even yesterday I showed them a couple of articles, and including the legal papers from Fannie Mae indicating that they can do that. They can either not issue a mortgage, or they can cancel a mortgage because it's a violation of the terms of the contract in regard to increased hazards. So basically what we're doing, and I'm very happy to see that you're able to get together on this and be in pretty much agreement on the need to safeguard our people and our property, and I thank you again. I did want to mention one other thing. In sitting here, and perhaps it's because I may not hear as well as everyone, it would be helpful. Some people speak up pretty loud and some speak very softly, and it would be very helpful if all the people can speak up so I could hear a little bit better. I do have my hearing aids on. But even with that, I will miss some of what's said if people speak very softly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments?
Hi, I'm Paula Clare, and I again want to thank you for your leadership and for your concern about the health and safety of the residents of our county. Yesterday, I was in attendance, as was Mr. Revnisky, at Peekskill, when the energy company, Spectra Energy, presented their case to Peekskill. I was very surprised that they said there was no danger in radon in the methane that is coming through the pipes. And they were corrected by the mayor and other people in the audience saying that there was no safe level of radon. legislation. And I'm proud that Putnam County is the first of the counties around to take a leadership role in protecting its citizens. I think it's very important because, especially in terms of emissions that are planned by this energy company in Southeast, which affects our county. And I know I've mentioned this to you before, but I just want to mention that their plans at this time, actually at this time, they are beyond the EPA threshold in 4 toxins, in carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and volatile organic compounds. And volatile organic compounds include benzene, which is a known carcinogen, and a number of suspected carcinogens. So that can really affect the health of our county. Luckily, we are in better shape than Westchester and Rockland County for air quality now, but we don't want to have it worsen. So our legislation will hopefully give us some leverage with the DEC and also with possibly New York City DEP, which has to issue another permit to allow this project to go forward. So thank you very much. And I just want to mention that the toxins that are above the EPA threshold are at least double the EPA threshold and sometimes triple. So it's really, this company is not looking out for our interests, in my opinion. I mean, everybody wants to make a profit, but we have to protect our citizens. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to comment and thank you, Paula, for coming to our committee meetings and always giving us so much information and helping us and educating us to make the good and informed decisions for the people of Putnam County. You've been a great asset to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Cook. Oh, I'm sorry. Adam? No.
Thank you. My name is Ed Cook. I'm a representative of the Westchester Putnam building trades. Currently in Putnam County, we have about 10,000 building tradesmen and women, which is down from about 14,000 from 4 years ago before the downturn. My union is the Carpenters Union. We have 117 member journey person that live in the county. We have 14 apprentices in addition to that. The project labor agreements, which is administered through the New York State Department of Labor, not the labor agreements, I'm sorry, the apprenticeship is fully supervised through the New York State Department of Labor. The project labor agreements are done through the municipality or through the county. What they simply do is protect New York businesses or legitimate businesses that have registered with the state of New York in an apprenticeship program to protect New York businesses, to give youth opportunities with real jobs, with real pensions, and real wages to live in the counties in which we work. We are self-funded pensions. We don't have a state or city or municipal backup to fund our pensions. So essentially, if our men don't work, they don't eat. If they don't work, they don't retire. Yet while we work, our tax dollars go to fund teacher pensions, firefighter pensions, police pensions, all necessary services within the county. It has nothing to do with the federal government. It has nothing to do with anything other than protecting New York businesses and giving a competitive edge to our contractors that want to be professional and provide real services to their employees. It's disheartening to see that we're making so much of so little. It is an important way to get New York back to work. It is a little bit of duplicity, as we've talked about in the committee meetings, because on a project labor agreement, you already have the New York State apprenticeship agreements in place. However, what this does is give, like, take the Kent Sewer Treatment Project. Those workers all live in Pennsylvania. They get in the trucks at the end of the day and drive into Pennsylvania with our tax dollars. This might give us a little hope of change in that. And that's
Any legislator that wants to take time, I'm authorized by Amy Doyle on the building trades to talk on this matter. I've lobbied in Albany on this matter. I've spent my life protecting workers. That's what this is about, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook.
I'd like to make a comment on that.
Yeah.
The Kent Sewer project was a two-part project. The sewer plant itself was actually built primarily by the owners of Kent Manor. I don't know their specific name. The sewer lines, which was commissioned by the town of Kent, used an outfit from Poughkeepsie, and they're a local company from Poughkeepsie. So you know, just for clarification, the town of Kent did not fund or have anything to do with building the actual plant. They just were involved with the transmission lines, and that was an outfit, you know, I'm going to say mom and pop, it's a little bigger than that, but it is a relatively local outfit. And I do believe, and they were using this community.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Adam.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening. Adam Steedman, the Commissioner of Emergency Services. Just wanted to address, provide a little clarification on the question that was raised regarding signage of the bike path. Last fall, after myself, Deputy Commissioner Lipton, presented before Protective Services, Deputy Commissioner Lipton began working with the Highway Department, and I'm happy to report that throughout the winter, in-house, the Highway sign shop prepared all of the signs, and after the treacherous winter that we had this past winter with all the snow, began installing them and finished that project in March. There are a sign at every 0.2 of a mile. They have been GPSed, and in fact, we are scheduled to discuss, provide an update to that effect at next Tuesday's Protective Services meeting. So, just for clarification.
I stand corrected.
No,
Did not know that.
Great.
Because you haven't come into committee, so I look forward to speaking with you next week.
Very good.
We just formulated the agenda for August 12th, and that is on the agenda for the signs.
Right.
Very good.
One more comment, and then we'll end it.
To get senior moments, so I failed to mention two other factors that I read in the research. One was that stifle competition. This particular proposal stifle competition among workers and construction and contractors and so forth. The other thing is to overcome some of the problems. There were some municipalities that had neutrality bids. In other words, a person could bid who was a PLA, non-PLA, whatever. So it was a very interesting research, and perhaps there are other ways to go. Thank you.
With regard to that, I did mention to some of the other legislators, I know some people that were working in an apprenticeship program down in Yonkers, and from what I understood, there was a cost savings to that for the municipality. So we'll look into that more, bring it up at the next meeting. Recognition of the legislators.
I think we had a...
Oh, did we have it? Sorry, I didn't see. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi all. Susanna Glidden. Just to add my thanks to each of you for acknowledging our protection,
You too, Suzanne.
our health and safety in Westchester as well as Putnam. What we do in one another's counties affects one another. And you know, we environmentalists are very for jobs, very supportive of labor, and to keep the jobs here in America. Economists and economic studies recently coming out show that by going to renewable energy and away from fossil fuels, it creates 3 times the amount of jobs for Americans. So I encourage you, I know in Westchester, they are running an inventory right now on all county buildings to solarize, to see which ones can handle being solarized, have enough sun and flat roofs and roofs facing the south. And we need to do what we can towards this end for our survival and to create jobs for Americans. Thank you, Putnam County. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Common sense approach.
A comment on that?
Yes.
I certainly appreciate the comments related to health and safety that have been made by the legislator and by the folks there. The Northeast needs energy as we grow. There's no question about it. And this project is going to define that. However, the health and safety is number one, and this blowback information, all the particles that are talked about, that is my great concern. But I recognize that energy is also needed from the Northeast. The renewables you talk about, there's a lot of question marks about the windmills and so forth and so on. So that's my concern. Health and safety number one, but recognizing the need for energy as we grow in the Northeast. I recently was informed of an article about fracking related to natural gas. And they use water detergent, which is biodegradable and is not polluted whatsoever. So I'm wondering if fracking for oil shale, as that comes along, will also provide detergents and alternatives. So there's a lot of new technology out there for energy, and there's a lot of things in the future that are coming to the surface, including very long-living batteries for vehicles that is in the future. So I recognize what you're saying, but we also have to recognize that energy is necessary. The biggest environmentalists, have their private jets and they drive in big cars, so we have to understand that issue as well.
I understand. I would love to get to you an article showing, it's way above my head, but the way the gas is being distributed in the Northeast can be improved with what exists right now to get them what they need. Let me research that and get back to you.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah, just to make a comment on that, I would be all for totally green, going that direction. Obviously, though, gas is in our future, and I'm 100% with what you just said. There's a right way to do things, and you cross every T and you pay attention to everything. If we don't, you can see very easily how it can get out of hand. So that's priority for me. Any other comments from the legislation? Or you I have two items. First of all, the Run for Your Life is certainly important on September 7th, but I did speak with the Commissioner of Health. That's also Brewster's Founders Day, which is a big event. So those of you that attend the run, hopefully you'll come over to the village of Brewster and have some cold water and snacks to replenish the sweat you picked up on the trip. So there will be a couple of events that day. And lastly, I would say there are 27 days left to Labor Day, so enjoy the summer because it's moving fast.
Yes, it is, Roger. It's too fast.
Happy Labor Day.
If I could just add, at the end of this month will be the third annual Brewster Film Festival. That's going to be taking place. There's a lot of information on the web. So if you take a look at it, it was a great event last couple of years, and I hope people come out to it.
Very good. That's it, everybody's good?
Make a motion,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Everyone enjoy the rest of the summer. Make a motion.
Thank you.